Hey, 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 Laura J. and the sun today on the 29th out of 66 days to transform your self-image. And I want to talk about our debased nature today in relation to the law that has been capitalized. So the unspecified common law is unwritten, unspecified, unlimited. We can draw from it lest we be drawn into the public, where the law that corresponds with his story that we believe to be ours has been playing out for as long as we have thought Rome fell when it didn't. It was only a changing contract where two parties, church and state, divorced allegedly under the shell corpse of the Holy See, which contains both the Vatican as well as the belief system of Catholicism. And so this is what we really have to start understanding, the distinctions between what is real and private and can remain private compared to what is limited and what is written and specified, and therefore has jurisdiction to hide the other players that are also playing on the chessboard that we're then implied to be on. So the capitalized land would be where you can't stand on what is unwritten and then claim from, because any common law that is English common law, King's common law, American common law, common hyphen law, all of these specified versions of the original loop us into the jurisdiction that was claimed when a man used his hand in order to write what was previously unwritten that we could claim rights from. Now we just are able to draw privileges, benefits, liabilities, obligations, and duties from that which was already specified in order to pretend that we must offer tender in order to partake in those lands compared to the uncapitalized version of the same. The heir is the jurisdiction of the church. And this is why when people say the church and state are still together, it's a fallacy. Because the heir is why we have the HEIR of the heirs that receive the canons and believe the ecclesiastical laws that have been brought forward by the church without us even being aware at all. And the W of waters is the Admiralty Maritime Jurisdiction, which is where we've all been declared merchants, which is why everything is said to operate by commerce. Everything is operated in a transactional way, with all the acts being how we play in the realms of these jurisdictions that are operating simultaneously. If we get back to being real, we can claim from what is unwritten and unlimited, just like an artist can. An artist doesn't have a design to go off of in the beginning. They use their mind and their imagination to find the focus they want to bring into their picture, and then they create from that. That's unlimited. That's what we have access to until we're drawn into a specified, capitalized version of what claims to be original. It claims to be original. This is original. This would be the status of aboriginal applied to the original to move us away from what it means to be original, which is what the prefix ab means, which is why it's all about the fixtures and the prefixes and the suffixes that are added to the focus of the word. And this is why the spells need to be dispelled, but we need to come together to do it, because our debased nature is when we place something over top of ourselves or within ourselves in order to no longer be the original. And then things fall because we've pulled too hard, and then it all seems to fall and hurt us, unless we can actually guess the truth, which is what I'm doing. So if you refute what I'm saying, then please do leave a comment. And I'll also add here that it's not a court of laws, because the S of space has not been capitalized except for the jurisdictions that have claimed right to apply diction to the laws or rights that are within each of those alleged jurisdictions that will claim us until we claim that we are the appropriate authority to direct the responsible authorities in public offices. Now, even appropriate authority is just the office of man, which is at the top, that has a responsible authority to direct the legal person, which is the executor or the exchequer. And these are the ways in which we have been turned into a hierarchical triangle of victimhood that is not necessary any longer than it has been operating, where victimhood and woundology have been the currency we've been exchanging on the daily. That's largely what our relationships are based on, is it not? I've got a cat that is knocking things over because he just wants to play, which is what we all want to do at the end of the day, which is why then we invite in entities in order to change our substance so that we let something else take over us in order to have some fun. It's really crazy, I know, and yet that's as far as I'm going to go today, because I want to know what this message means to you and for you, and what you're willing to do about it. Because if you're willing to use your hand and claim the right to be a woman or man in your private capacity, with all common law, uncapitalized and unspecified rights reserved at all times, then we can draw from what is unlimited anytime we find a trespass. Tre, very, passe, pass. What's the passe? I'm not as good at French as I could be, but I know enough to know that trying to claim the right to be sovereign, sous is under, ver is right, and reign is where the reins will be pulled on us and our ability to lawfully self-govern, as we must be able to trust ourselves to do responsibly and appropriately.